Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be working on the question on the screen, and we're going to be solving for x using the factorization method. So as you can see, the question on the screen does not look like the more common quadratic equation. So the more common quadratic equation takes the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a here cannot equals 0, right? So one thing you need to know is equals to a is basically the coefficient of x squared, b here is the coefficient of x, and then c here is just a constant in the quadratic equation. So now that we know that, we're going to try to get our actual question, the equation that we're given, into the general form, into this form right here. So to do that, we're going to have 6x equals negative x squared minus 8, right? So what you end up with is x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0, and this is basically the quadratic equation, and this is the general form of the quadratic equation. So you're going to basically compare to this form right here. You compare both forms. Looking at both forms, we see that a here equals 1, b here equals positive 6, and then c here equals positive 8. When we have that down, then we're going to start solving. Now, whenever we're dealing with factorization method, I'm going to change to blue. We're going to first of all find the factors of the c value. So the factors of 8 here, or positive 8, are basically what two numbers, when you multiply them together, you're going to get the value of positive 8. So to do that, we know that the factors of positive 8 is plus 1 times plus 8, and that's going to give you positive 8, so that's good. Minus 1, people tend to forget minus, so minus 1 times minus 8, I'm going to get positive 8. And then you have positive 2 times 4, I'm going to get positive 8, so that's good. And then negative 2 times negative 4, I'm going to get positive 8. So you can see that all of these are factors of 8. But we only need to remember that when we're dealing with factors or factorization, we want whatever two numbers, when you multiply them together, will give you the value of c, in this case positive 8, but when you add them up, it's going to give you the value of b, which is positive 6. So now we're going to add these factors together on the right hand side. I'm going to put that in red, and whenever we get positive 6, that's basically the factor we're going to pick to solve this question. So to add them up, positive 1 and positive 8 is the same thing as positive 9. Negative 1 and negative 8 is going to give you negative 9. Positive 2 and positive 4 is going to give you positive 6. And negative 2 and negative 4 is going to give you negative 6. So hence the answer to our work is positive 6, because it basically matches the value of b. So to do that, we're now going to have x squared plus 2x, okay, because even though we're adding up to positive 6, we still have to remember that there is a variable. So it's not just 6, it's positive 6x. So plus 4x, because we're picking this one, plus 8. And that's basically what we're going to work with. So to do this now, we're going to factor, and we're going to focus on the first two terms separately from the last two terms, which would also work with separately. So we focus on two terms at a time, and then the next two terms just afterwards. So you have x, we're going to factor, hence the name factorization method. We're going to factor the common factor, which is x. And then when we factor that out, we're going to have x plus 2, okay? And then we have to look here too. What is something that we can factor in these two terms? Well, we can factor positive 4, right? And then you can do x plus 2. That's going to equals a 0. So you have x plus 2, x plus 4 equals 0. So when you do these two together, what you end up with is x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4 equals 0. So let's go to the next page. I'm just going to rewrite it. Equals 0. So hence you have x plus 2 equals 0. okay, and then x plus 4 equals 0. So you end up writing x equals -2 and x equals -4. So the answer to the values of x are x equals -2 and x equals -4. And these are basically the answers to the question. Now, if you want to see how I solved this particular question with quadratic formula, you can check that out. If you want to keep watching the SAT Math Prep series, the playlist is going to be on the end screen for you to keep on watching the videos. I wish you guys all the very best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.